Hello, my name is Susan C. Johnson. I'm here to talk to you today about the therapeutic use of arts and crafts, importance of pre-vocational training, and necessity of high standards for the occupational therapy profession. I've always held a high regard for arts and crafts, as I strongly believe that a positive and balancing relationship exists between crafts, rehabilitation, and independence. During my time teaching in Berkeley, I promoted craftwork as a method for patients to be self-supporting. I traveled in the East and resided in the Philippines for 2 years, where I dedicated time to study native designs, teach in schools, and publish various works in the Philippines craftsmen. By 1917, I had already taken monumental steps to promote the validity and value of occupational therapy in New York City's municipal hospitals as a program director. I arrived in New York City at a crucial period prior to the start of World War I. Working alongside the chairman of the New York City Visiting Committee, Mr. John Pratt, I emphasized the role of occupation as a therapeutic and economically stimulating aspect of recovery for handicapped patients. I furthered my mission by establishing a position as a faculty member at Teachers College in the Department of Nursing and Health. Practical work like basketry, leatherwork, and pamphlet binding was incorporated into my curriculum. My objective lies deeply in the idea that patients will discover and utilize these learned occupations as a commercial value to regain independence as citizens in society. Through my observations and interactions with heavily handicapped, chronically sick, and mentally ill patients, I was successful in initiating 4 treatment programs which address various debilitating conditions: mental illness at the Neurological Hospital, physical disabilities at the Manhattan Home for Women, tuberculosis at the Metropolitan and Seaview Hospitals, and cardiovascular and orthopedic issues at the Metropolitan Hospital. My responsibilities as an educator and advocate for our profession later extended to the nursing department of Columbia University. Feeling the need to stress the importance of therapeutic occupations even more heavily, I simultaneously devoted my attention to other establishments. I became the director of the Occupational Therapy Department at the Montefiore Hospital in order to further address the curative and restorative possibilities of this profession. The closing of World War I marked a monumental milestone for this profession. In 1917, I helped found the American Occupational Therapy Association. I also directed the Jefferson Needlecraft Shop, which primarily assisted women who fell ill to tuberculosis. In 1925, I became the director of the Convalescent Shop of the New York City Visiting Committee of the State Charities Aid Association. It became my mission to provide part-time work for sick and handicapped citizens as an alternative for ill individuals to remain productive. The principle upon which all therapeutic occupation is based is the simple psychological one of diversion and substitution. It is important to understand that long prescribed hospital stays should serve to heal the patient rather than cause them harm. Bored patients are at risk of harboring unwholesome, morbid, egoistic, and unconstructive thought, and a vicious circle of worry, confusion, and negative thinking will be established. It is my duty as a teacher of design and a genuine believer of using occupations as a means of therapy to demonstrate the therapeutic use of arts and crafts. The general purpose of occupation is to divert the mind from these destructive tendencies, to substitute normal interest in constructive activity, and crystallize them into right mental habits. Handcrafts in particular have a special therapeutic value, as they afford occupation which combines the elements of play and recreation with work and accomplishment. Handicrafts evoke joy and satisfaction through the opportunity to create something beautiful and meaningful, while also providing both physical and mental exercise. The simple technical processes of handcrafts require focus, yet are not too challenging or confusing. Handcrafts also act as either a sedative for hyperactive patients or a stimulant to depressed patients. More importantly, any craft may be graded according to the patient's physical capacity, so it's possible to accommodate everyone. Let's take weaving as an example. I personally love the therapeutic uses of weaving and encourage my capable patients to try it. It is a simple and straightforward technical process that prompts no confusion or worry, yet it demands responsiveness to repetition and rhythm. It indicates tranquility of mind comparable to relaxation, while the introduction of pattern and design provide an outlet of self-expression and ingenuity. The mechanical process of weaving can be graded to accommodate different demands. For example, it can be adjusted to give arm or finger movements only in bed, or it can be arranged to utilize muscles and nerves in the arms, back, abdomen, and fingers while sitting up. These graded adaptations are dependent on the patient's capabilities. Each graded step should provide both the appropriate physical challenge for the patient, while also addressing his or her psychological state. As you can see, the simple activity of weaving baskets can greatly improve the well-being of a patient. Her participation allows her to make a personal contribution to her success. Weaving is only one example of arts and crafts therapy. Applying the same principles mentioned earlier, other crafts can also offer therapeutic purposes. Woodwork and metalwork is popular among ambulated men, but it all depends on the abilities of the patient and on their preferences. I personally have witnessed young men with tuberculosis start jewelry making on a schedule of an hour a day to 4 hours a day, and eventually continue without a break for 3 or 4 months. I'd like to now show you some pieces crafted by our patients here. We have some knitting over here, we've got some beadwork, crocheting, we've got the beginning of a basket here, and then the continuing to the full completion of a basket. We've got paintings of various forms, drawings. As you can see, our patients produce very high quality of work that is very indicative of both their therapeutic success and their capabilities. I feel it is important to not only see occupational therapy as a form of treatment, but also as an opportunity towards a future vocation for our patients. If we view occupational therapy as a potential form of pre-vocational training, it gives our patients a goal to work towards getting better. They will have the peace of mind knowing that they will have a means to support themselves once they are able to leave our facilities. With proper training and instruction, our clients can work on honing a craft where the product produced will yield value. There are many vocational opportunities for our clients. This can be demonstrated by looking at our tuberculosis and cardiac patients. I have heard there is demand for exquisite handcrafted jewelry. Their skills in jewelry making will offer them many well-paid opportunities as a vocation. We will then begin to see a positive outcome from our patients' transition out of our facilities. When a client sees value in an item he or she has crafted with his or her own hands, the outcome will not only yield monetary, but therapeutic benefits as well. As my friend Herbert Hall would say, there is no tunic like a sale. While I was director of the convalescent shop of the New York City Visiting Committee of the State Charities Aid Association in 1925, I worked with individuals who were half sick, nervous, and handicapped. I found that these individuals simply needed a stepping stone in getting them back into the workforce. I was able to secure and fill contracts for part-time paid positions for these individuals. The workroom I secured for these individuals specialized in some of the finest bright-colored articles of clothing, which were proudly displayed in stores on Fifth Avenue. During those past 2 months, I also had the wonderful opportunity to supervise an annex to the shop, which gave work to 70 women registered to the Emergency Work Bureau. I truly feel it is a responsibility to our patients to not only give them the skills, but the opportunity to succeed beyond treatment. My work with the individuals at the convalescent shop of the New York City Visiting Committee of the State Charities Aid Association is a testament to the positive outcomes of synergistically incorporating treatment with pre-vocational training for our patients. As I have discussed, the job of the occupational therapist is essential and involves many faculties. The comprehensive nature of our work dictates a high quality of educational training. A properly trained occupational therapist can formally teach our clients the proper skills necessary to craft items that will be of both therapeutic and pre-vocational value. All occupational therapists must demonstrate knowledge of crafts, teaching, psychology, and medicine. However, it is advisable to create different training programs based on the area that a therapist will work. Therapists who wish to work in a hospital should have extensive training in taking care of the sick, while women in outpatient shops should focus more on the educational component. I have worked to develop different training programs which cater to each unique need, balancing the importance of the nursing and teaching aspects of the profession. Educational curriculum is the crux to developing public understanding and respect for our profession. While World War I gave us the occasion to publicize the impact of occupational therapy, this opportunity is diminished if we are not able to present exceptional therapists. I must express my concern at the educational background of many Reconstruction aides. At this early stage, every occupational therapist represents the entire profession. While I understand the need to train numerous women quickly to answer the demand for war rehabilitation, the foundation of our cause will be lost if these women do not receive adequate training. In answer to this, I encourage teachers, nurses, and social workers to enroll in Teachers College and taught the course Education 175 to every student. My class analyzed occupational therapy instructional methods and prepared my students to perform favorably as supervisors in state, private, and military hospitals. They learned crafts, but also observed and practiced teaching in city hospitals. Creating these strong supervisors will benefit all, as they will provide support to the myriad of therapists and patients in our clinics. I continued this mission with my service on the Committee on Admissions and Positions. Here, I sought to standardize the education of practitioners and institute a hierarchy within the profession. A certification system in which every therapist must abide by a standardized set of expectations would serve a dual purpose of mandating competent practitioners and showing the public the integrity of occupational therapy. We must ensure that our standards are representative and constructive, so we should not move towards a standardized system in haste. This must be the subject of a much reflective discussion. Furthermore, placing training programs in established colleges will promote recognition of our profession. If we wish to cultivate a permanent field of occupational therapy, the sense of legitimacy is critical. This will be benefited by clear standards and curriculum, but can also be fostered by our connections to previous established professions. It is for this reason that I recommended Herbert Hall for the position of president of the National Society for the Promotion of Occupational Therapy. As a recognized physician, his leadership will legitimize our practice and publicize the therapeutic importance of our work. I am encouraged that my vision to continually empower individuals through occupation is a key validation to therapeutic practice. My experiences and observations as an occupational therapist have reminded me that it is imperative to contribute change through education of engagement in order to legitimize this profession. Thank you so much for coming today.